right, good afternoon. Okay, we challenged the players going into this walkthrough to, regardless of the format of the circumstances, to make sure that all the attention to detail items that we have to make sure that we master, that we do a great job with. And the walkthrough we just came from was excellent. The communication, the execution of our game plan, and the recognition of some of the things that we anticipate seeing. So very encouraged by that. We're facing an offense this week that had an explosive performance last week, and it came through the rushing attack. It came through the quarterback. It came through big plays. And so they're getting themselves together at a good time for them, and we're going to have to make sure that we exceed their tempo. We exceed their tempo in terms of pacing, in terms of what we need to do to get ourselves lined up and get set and to execute. And we're excited about the challenge. It's great to be here in this particular game, and we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to the environment. With that, I'll take your questions. Well, we'd like to get him to second and long. We'd like to keep him out of manageable down and distance situations. Third down and long, second and long, we'd like to keep him in that environment. And the pressure, we've got to have pressure with our front four. We've got to make sure that the pocket is getting collapsed. We're doing a great job of disguising our looks and not giving him information that he can easily access and figure out what to do with the football. Elijah will be the starter.
So what's your kind of level of confidence in him, or what has he done to kind of feel pretty good about?
Well, tremendous level of confidence. Number one, he's familiar with what we're doing. He is an active learner, which means that when he was backing up Brisker, he's preparing himself as if he was going to start. When you watch him in practice and go about his business on a daily basis. And so with that, with the way he prepares, with his skill set, his attention to detail, I have the utmost confidence in him.
There's an uptick in interceptions, or uptick in takeaways last year. It didn't really start until halfway through the season. You guys have 11 through 5 games. What's been, I guess, the key to getting that going from the very onset of this year?
Well, we've got a group of players that just really, really have embraced that part of our identity. We work on it every single day, and we realize that in order to get that type of production, we have to go for it. We have to be cognizant of that. We have to be aware of it, and we have to make sure we're attacking the football from all angles at all times. And the guys have embraced that. They've done a nice job, and we want to continue that.
When a defensive back plays the ball better than a receiver, the way that Kevin did on his interception, what was that conversation like when you guys are going through the film next stage, talking about his technique and what would make him so successful?
Well, Kevin has tremendous ball production throughout his career, so there's nothing really surprising about that. When you understood, number one, that we were in a pressure concept, the quarterback decided to take a shot, and so we had to maintain our position in the field, and Kevin had to zone turn to put himself in a position to stay over the top, to see the ball thrown, and to just come down with that football after contorting himself. I mean, it's just he's a talented individual, and the partnership between him and Andre Curtis, the way they work ball skills every day, you just really see from all of our coaches. You see the drills show up on Sunday.
You guys seem to have timed a lot of your blitzes really well this year. Difficult. A lot of that's planning. I'm sure a little bit of it is a lot of, I would say, execution of balls and almost better than
Well, we're excited about the production that we've gotten from it, and our foundation, Brad, is rush and cover, starting with our 4-man rush. We'd like the pressure to complement that. We don't want to live in that scenario, but we definitely want that to complement what we like to do with our front and coverage. And it's just a matter of speed, of timing, making sure that we can affect the game without having to deploy a fifth guy. And when we do, we need that person to be an enormous factor. And they have so far.
What's your biggest concern about Brian Thomas?
You know, we have to make sure that that we're doing a great job of tackling. We have to make sure we do a great job of tackling. We have to make sure we do a great job within our gaps and a great job of being efficient on first and second down.
Eric, this is back to Brad's question just about the blitzing. With this scheme and philosophy of this defense being to get pressure with your front four and being as successful as you guys have been with blitzing, how long does it take to, I guess, build that identity, to know when to call them, how players are going to be able to execute it, and just knowing how much more aggressive you can be in certain situations?
Yeah, it's a process that starts really in the off season of just making sure that whatever we come up with from a concept standpoint, that the guys understand, that they understand all of the details from a disguise standpoint, angles, matchups, how the matchups are defined after we call a particular pressure, and then just the situations, what we anticipate from the offense in every down and distance situation. So all those things have to be factored in. But when you blitz or you're rushing the quarterback or you're deciding to use what I call an aggressive eight-man front, it has to be fast and violent, if you understand what I'm saying. It has to be impactful. And the guys have done a really good job with that. But it's something that we established from day one. I mean, just coming in here, it's a core fundamental in terms of those things complementing what we're doing.
Andrew Billick said part of the reason he's having such a good season is because of the scheme that he's playing. And why is his, I guess, skill set, body type fit so well into the scheme?
Well, he has the requisite quickness. I mean, he's a big man. He's a powerful man, and we need him to anchor the point of attack, especially versus mid-zone schemes. But at the same time, he has some quickness and he has some range about him. And so we ask our nose tackles to cover from their alignment to the sideline. We ask them to collapse the pocket. We ask them to help us to create population at the point of attack versus screen plays. And he can do all of those things. And he takes pride in his versatility and his overall skill set, not just being a first and second down player, but being able to impact the game on all three downs.
What is this using him to execute your question? Are you using him differently than maybe Cleveland or Vegas? It just feels like he's in a more pass rusher role than other places.
Well, I can't really speak to what he did before. I just know that, you know, in this system, we need him. We need to get rush out of every person that's on the defensive line. And whatever that means for that player, we've got to find a way to get that out of them. And credit to Andrew, he's really improved. He's taken it upon himself to identify certain aspects of his game that he wanted to improve and increase. And he's really done a nice job with that.
What did Bixby show the other day? You guys would be concerned about?
I beg your pardon?
What did Tank Bixby show the other day? Concerns you guys? Running back,
just the ability to break tackles, just the run after catch aspect.
Eric, when you look at the first 5 games from the running backs, what stands out to you most about what defense?
Well, it would be easy to say that the rush production, the sacks, but his overall energy and his understanding some of the little fine details of how to play defensive tackle, especially the 3 technique position, but also how to play the nose. Occasionally he'll line up over the center. His assignments have almost been flawless. And so there's been no issues as far as him not being in a position to execute. That allows you to play extremely fast, and when you can do that, the production is soon to follow.
You talked about John Dexter now, and he's also this incredible start. What is going to be the key to sustain that? Because he is also a very fast starter. Of course, he's still human, and there will be slumps. What is the key for you as a coach to make sure he is staying up and keeping that going?
Well, I don't worry about him maintaining a certain disposition because he's such a professional person, and especially in year 2. You know, going into a full-time starter's role, his humility, his willingness to be open to constructive feedback, and his just overall maturity. So I don't worry about any drop off. I don't worry about him being enamored with what he's done. Javon, like everybody else on the defense, we understand that once we get past one opponent or one particular play, we got to move forward because we've got larger goals than 5 sacks or whatever he has in 4 games. We have larger goals not only for him individually but for our defense and for our team, and so we continue to stay focused on that, and he really embodies that.
The World Tour, here we go. Kyle and Jay and Team Ed, Darby, all of our crew that makes this full week happen. A lot of appreciation for them. Been over here several times now, and this has been an A+ experience, and so it's been fun to be a part of. I could not. I'm sorry with the acoustics here. Oh, going no huddle with the rookie quarterback. I think whether it's a rookie or not, just different past experiences. I think being able to mix and match different tempos on offense is always a good thing. Whether you can go, different tempos in and out of the huddle, different tempos at the line of scrimmage. So as we continue to grow on offense, being able to use different tools depending on what week we feel like it creates an advantage and what week it can help us. So obviously last week with Caleb and the rest of the offense, they did a really good job executing in the no huddle situations that presented themselves. Yeah, I think anytime you have success with one thing, we'll keep working on it. But again, it really depends what the situation in the game is, what advantage we think we can create from that. So week to week, we'll always look at it. It'll always be something that we'll have as part of our system. And then, how we utilize it will depend, like I said, upon the individual game.
DJ said yesterday that jokingly saying that Caleb's been bossy about being on players when we don't hit plays in practice and stuff. What have you noticed about the way he's handled communicating with his receivers to make sure they're on the same page, and how he kind of individualizes how he communicates with them?
I think Caleb's done a great job with his communication. Started in the offseason when he was able to build some connections with guys. And I think, part of the quarterback's job is to be that leader on the field and make sure everybody is on the same page. So you've seen him continue to grow. If a route's, it's, sometimes it's a two-way street, asking what a receiver saw or what he saw. And it's all about getting on the same page at the end of the day. So I think he's done an excellent job with that. All the different looks that might present themselves. He's been able to communicate that with DJ, with Keenan, Cole, all of our guys right there, so that we're all on the same page.
What role is the running game play in the offense's turnaround the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think starting up front, those guys have done a great job of sticking together. I know it started out where we were trying to, gain some more yards, obviously in the run game in those first couple games there. But I saw a group that really stuck together right there, worked on communication, worked on, the details that they felt could help them improve as they were hitting blocks and getting in phase with the runners. And like everything, the run game is going to take all 11 receivers, tight ends, quarterback, getting us in and out of things. So I think those guys just sticking with it, trusting their process. Chris Morgan and Haas have done a good job of leading the way right there. So every single week, whether it's been a win or a loss, we're coming in on Monday and looking at ways to improve. And I think those guys have stuck with that process. And so the results will come when the process is right.
How important is it to get that continued be a success in the run game Sunday against Jaguars?
I think every week we're always going to be looking for that balanced attack. So, starting with the run game when we're efficient with runs, and then that efficiency can lead to explosives, right? We saw it this past week with Swift down the left side, or in the week before when we were able to run one in from, 30-something out. So sticking with the run game, staying efficient, it's always going to allow our full offense to come to life. Yeah, I think from the starting point here, we wanted to have a good marriage of the run and the pass with that ability to attack defenses with the mix and match of tempos. I think each week you've seen us continue to grow to try to get to that vision of what we all see it as. And I think it's going to be a week-to-week process where, we can't take any steps back, or if stuff does get hard, just keeping our eyes forward and looking at solution-driven conversations right there so we can keep rolling and keep playing at a high level on offense. Mm-hmm.
Obviously had dozens in his career.
Yeah.
Do you need to talk to him about, hey, it's going to come, or in this offense, is it kind of egalitarian enough that?
Yeah, no, I think he's done an excellent job knowing that, hey, the ball hasn't found him on a couple plays, even last week where there's a couple where he's the primary, the coverage plays out a little bit different, and, Cole's a beneficiary of a big explosive play on one of them. But obviously we want to get Keenan involved more. It's a goal of ours, but there's also going to be the structure of the defense and, what they might take away that week. And I think, each week the guys have done a good job knowing that we have multiple guys that have worked hard and deserve to get the rock right there. And we know Rome had a big game one time. Cole has a big game. DJ has one. Swift's had a couple. So knowing that, Keenan's a big part of our offense and wanting to get him involved. And again, it's that fine line of pressing to get him involved, but also knowing that he's going to do a good job like he always does of doing things right, showing up every single day and working to get on the same page, which he's done a great job with, and then leading to the results on the field.
Was that the little wheel to Matt where he fell out Johnson's play?
Yeah, yep.
What do you see from the Jags defense? They're giving up a lot of passing yards, but what are their strengths?
Yeah, I think, for some of their things, some of those off-schedule passing yards they've given up, but, it starts up front. Nielsen's done a great job with that defensive line. They've always got unique edge setters right there on each side, the first-rounders. They roll a bunch of guys inside in the interior spots there, so they just present a constant challenge of a defensive line that's always going forward. They're really good in their pass rush lanes when it comes to the known passing situations. They work a lot of different games. They can win one-on-one at a lot of different positions as well, aside from the pick games and those things. So for us, I think just doing a good job of really, like every game starts up front. Well, it's especially true this one, going against this front, because that front can disrupt everything and then brings the coverage and the front structure tied together. I think just being on the left side right there and knowing where our rotation ended up. And we have a lot of trust in a lot of guys, and different things are going to play out, injury-wise, which I think was a good thing from training camp, OTAs, moving forward. And Bill's someone that's worked hard, and the results have paid off right there. So when the scenario played out where he needed to go in at left guard, we were able to, pick up right where we left off, unfortunately, for Tevin being out right there. But Bill's able to go in there. We're still able to operate our offense. And again, he's just done such a good job from the first day he's been around, with his effort, his toughness, but then now it's also led to his technique and his style of play showing up in a game.
When you look at Caleb's ability to change things like the line of scrimmage, how much has he improved since week one to where he's at now?
Yeah, I think Caleb overall, not just at the line of scrimmage, but everything he's done, he's taken every single game rep and looked to build upon that for the next time that scenario happens. I think he's got, great command, great ownership at the line of scrimmage. He sees the full picture, so he knows when he can get in and out of different looks right there. And so it's been great to see his continued growth. And again, another guy that works so hard at it, so you're seeing results from that work.
What do you think would be the reason behind the slow start for the offense as opposed to the consistency it seems to find now?
Yeah, I think for us, the beginning of the season, and we've still had some spurts where if we have the negative plays, we get disrupted by a defense there, whether it's a pre-snap penalty, stuff that's in our control, or it's, some of the negative plays that occurred those first couple weeks. When we've stayed out of those, we've shown to be efficient. I think the more and more everyone's working together, players, coaches, and bringing this thing together, the more we can eliminate those plays and stay on schedule, we can be an efficient offense. And I think that's what the transition's been. But again, it's a new week here. So again, working not to take any steps back in that regard, but being great pre-snap without everything that we're doing, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the chains, leading to more production.
What's been the biggest challenge for you as far as just learning everything around and how to make it work as best as you can?
I think the challenge is always a fun challenge, right? Figuring out how to get everybody involved. We mentioned, different guys. We have so many guys that are deserving of getting touches in the pass game, getting the ball in the run game. So finding that balance. So that's always going to be a challenge because we have such good people that you want to do right for them, right? Get them involved more. And so that's always going to be a challenge. But I think the positive that's that I've come away with from that is we have so many good people, good players that really care about each other. So if one guy maybe doesn't have a big play, but his buddy is, you see everybody celebrating in the end zone. Looked at a couple examples from this past week where you see guys celebrating together, really, excited about what their teammates just did. And that's such a big part of it. So that alleviates any of that stress for me.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you all doing? Good. Doing outstanding. Excited to be here in London. Obviously playing an international NFL game. Grateful for the experience to play overseas. I'm not surprised. by the NFL and how down packed they have this deal to a science. So everything's been outstanding for us, like operations, logistically, everything's been first class. So just want to commend the NFL on that. And then obviously our guys, Kyle Kelly and Jay, these guys are rock stars. Like this, they don't get credit for things, right? A lot of times people don't ever say anything about how well operations is doing, and they are doing a phenomenal job. I mean, we feel like here, I feel like I got in the same meeting room at Hallis Hall, same setup, same film, everything. Our video department's been outstanding. So, again, just want to recognize them, and then obviously thankful to the McCaskey family for allowing Poles and Flus to give us the resources to have a seamless transition. That doesn't go unnoticed, and we're excited for the opportunity to play. With that, we can open up to questions.
What gives you the most concern on the Jaguars side?
Yeah, I mean, really good football team, really well put together football team. I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but I worked for Trent Baalke the first time I was in San Francisco, so he knows how to put together a roster. I see a roster that's comprised of really good specialists, first and foremost. Cam Little, the kid, is kicking the ball great right now. Obviously, Logan Cook's been doing it a long time. From a punter standpoint, the long snapper is the best cover long snapper in the business. Everybody knows that. The kid made the Pro Bowl. He's outstanding. And then the linebackers and the DBs, they got fast, physical football teams, so it's going to be a huge challenge for us, for sure. We're looking forward to it, though.
When you look back at the game against Carolina for the years, we talked about one game consistent. How do you assess what you did in that game just overall?
Yeah, I think overall last 2 weeks, outstanding. You know, he in that Carolina game, obviously his last punt was his first and last punt were two phenomenal punts, two really good punts. The first one was into the wind, and then obviously his other two punts were into the wind as well. That was a tough wind. The only one he got that was with the wind was the last one at the end of the game where he pinned it inside the 8-yard line, set our defense up. So I would say, obviously, not the game that he had against the Rams, but still a decent game for him. And I'm excited, and our specialists are excited because I've been told that people really love specialists here, so and can appreciate their skill set. So we're extremely excited to go out and perform in this environment.
It's only 5 games in, but I think a lot of people thought that the more of a change at the kickoff, we see more returns. It's up a little, but not huge. Do you think that ultimately we'll have to look at it again, try to get more action on that particular point?
Yeah, I think your point is well taken. It is an improvement, but I think we would still like to see more returns across the league, and I think they will. I mean, I know for a fact we're going to take a look at it again just because it's a one-year trial. So we have to revisit it at the end of the year, get input from obviously all the other coordinators, and then sit down with the competition committee, health and safety, and the rest of the NFL office and see how we can continue to improve our game. I think the NFL has done a hell of a job improving our game, not only on the kickoff, but just even us being here, like internationally. A lot of our kids have never been overseas. Hell, I've never been overseas. It's my first time here. So I think it'll only get better. To answer your question, I think it'll only get better.
What's grabbed you about being overseas? Has anything happened to you in the last couple of days that you found particularly cool?
Yeah, I just think it's cool, like the different culture that you get to experience. I think the architecture in this part of the world is outstanding. It looks very different than what we're used to, but you can appreciate it. And I'm just interested to learn about other cultures and how people live. So it's been outstanding. I mean, people have been phenomenal, and again, fortunate to be here. I mean, for me, it's a trifecta year because I've never been overseas. I never played an international game. I never been in a Hall of Fame game, and I never been associated with Hard Knocks. And all of those have been positive experiences this far. So we get a dub on Sunday, then I feel really good about it.
When you get ready to go play a game in a stadium that you've never been to, whether it's here or back at home, how do you scout it out? Do you have other people around the league you talk to? Do you go early? What do you do to get a sense of what everything's going to look like and whether you need to make adjustments?
Yeah, fortunately, a game was played there last week, obviously, Jets and Vikings, right? And I've worked with a lot of different people on those staffs. So obviously we've reached out to them. Our players have also reached out to people that they know, and then we'll get a good feel for it in pregame when we go out there and take a look at it. But I mean, I'm excited for the opportunity and grateful to be here. And I think our guys they really are wide-eyed and bushy-tailed in the meetings. Like, you would think that, travel and, all of that stuff, and you'd be jet lagged. I can't tell you how great of a job Brent Salazar did with, like, sleep packages on the plane, and I feel normal, and our guys feel ready to rock and roll. So.
What do you think of Blackwell's opportunity to get back up the first time?
Yeah, I like Blackwell. He did a nice job back there. You can't ever. Blackwell never ceases to amaze me. The tackle he made in the game as well. That was a phenomenal tackle, good return by him, and we're just looking to keep growing his game. I know he's excited about being over here. He actually sat in the seat right in front of me on the plane. So we talked quite a bit, and he was excited as heck, saying, NFL football has been good to us, man. I've never been over here. He was giddy. Like, he was like almost teary-eyed that he got a chance to play. So that's how much that kid loves the game. So, yeah, I love Blackwell.
What have you been seeing from Bayless behind the scenes that's trying to get us okay?
Yeah, I've been seeing Bayless. You guys know Bayless, great kid, works his tail off. Been impressed with him off the field, in the meeting room. He's locked in, he's dialed in. He's been doing a really nice job at practice. I mean, he's been doing a great job. So what I've seen from him is him digging down deep inside, and then we're just going to continue to try to develop him. And that's not only me, that's Coach Morton, that's, Coach Flus is involved in that. We're all involved, and we all got our arms around him. He's ours, and we're going to keep working with him as long as we can to help him be the best player he can be, because that's our jobs. We want to make sure that we can help him be his best. But he's been doing a great job behind the scenes.